Well, hey there, everybody. I'm so happy to be able to teach your class about symbolism. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction about who I am and what you can expect. I'm Mrs. Acero, and I have an online teaching store called All in One Middle School. I was a teacher for 34 years. Teaching language arts was my passion. This lesson is a mini lesson, so it's concise, and you'll be very clear on what you should know by the end. This presentation, along with guided notes, are available for print in my TPT store, and the link is in the video description. If you're using the guided notes, you should fill them in when you see this icon. If your teacher lets you work with a partner, you will turn and talk in certain portions. So let's go ahead and get started. It's always good to have a mentor text to refer to when learning skills. It doesn't have to be in writing, however. Using films is a great way to learn. For this lesson, we will examine the very famous story of the Wizard of Oz. I'm sure many of you know it, but I have a quick video recap for some of the major plot points. Your teacher might prefer for you to use a different mentor text or a film. If you are using a different mentor text and you're using the guided notes, just use whatever your teacher wants you to use at that time. You're going to pause here and click on the video of The Wizard of Oz. It is about 5 minutes long. The link is in the video description. So why do we need to know about symbolism? There's no doubt that you've been reading and listening to stories and poems and songs. Hopefully, this is something that you have enjoyed. Learning to dig a little deeper into the text by examining certain objects and colors, settings, characters, and weather can reveal symbolism, which means that they represent more than we first might think. Understanding symbols is a gateway to understanding theme, which is the message the author is trying to teach us. So, symbolism, let's get on board. Today's goal is to understand that objects in books, poems, songs, movies, etc., often represent a bigger meaning. This is called symbolism, and understanding this can reveal the theme or message of what the author, poet, songwriter, filmmaker, etc., might want you to understand. Today, we will go over some of the ways to recognize symbols and understand their meaning and the overall piece that you are reading, watching, or listening to. So, symbols lead to theme, which equals an understanding on a deeper level. So, let's talk first about colors. It is important to note as I go through all of these slides that these are not definitive symbols. These are some very common symbols and examples, but the author's intent might be very different from what is listed in my common symbol slide. So in other words, you might see the color red mentioned in a story you're reading, but it might not mean power or passion. It might mean something else. So let's go over colors. Red is often symbolic of power and passion. Green could be envy, safety, harmony, and growth. Blue, sorrow, loneliness, and loyalty. White, simplicity and purity and peace. Yellow, cheer, hope, and positivity. Some common symbols for characters and animals are a wolf could symbolize survival and loyalty. A witch could symbolize fear, danger, and isolation. An owl could symbolize wisdom, a lion, courage, and a king or queen, wealth and power. As a reminder, when you see this icon, you should be filling in your guided notes and just pause the video whenever you need to do that. Okay, now I want you to try it. You're going to think about The Wizard of Oz or whichever mentor text your teacher wants you to use. Turn and talk to your partner about these color and character symbols. Specifically, discuss where they are used and what you think they are symbolizing in this story of The Wizard of Oz. If you have the guided notes, you'll fill them in together for red, green, yellow, lion, and witch. Pause the video and turn and talk now. Okay, let's talk about some common symbols for weather. If there is a storm in a story, it could mean violence or powerful emotions. A rainbow could represent optimism and hope. Snow might represent purity and transformation. Fog, uncertainty and confusion. Wind could mean power or change. Again, here's your guided note icon. Common symbols for objects. If you see a window, it might represent freedom or lack of freedom. Flowers might represent youth and life. A road could represent challenges, obstacles, and life's journey. Sun could represent hope, power, and enlightenment. And a swing could represent change or indecision. Okay, now you're going to try it again. Think about The Wizard of Oz. Turn and talk to your partner about these symbols and how they are used in the story and what you think they represent. If you have the guided notes, fill it in for tornado, ruby red slippers, heart, and rainbow. Pause the video while you turn and talk. All right, let's talk about common symbols for the setting, specifically for place that the story takes place in. Forest could represent a place of testing or challenge. A city could represent progress and innovation. Home, safety, love, and belonging. A kingdom, power or class divisions, meaning people with more money have a better life than people without as much money. A farm, simplicity, earth, and fortitude. Let's talk now about the setting in reference to the time it takes place. If it takes place in winter, it could represent death and old age. Spring, life, and youth. Summer, wisdom. Fall, maturity or middle age. Maybe during the daytime, it could represent fear, hope, and positivity. And the night, secrets, fear, and suffering. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to turn and talk about these possible symbols from The Wizard of Oz and what you think they are symbolizing in this story. Okay, one of the reasons we like to talk about symbols is that they often reveal the theme. So as a reminder, it's important to note that symbols can mean different things in different stories, poems, songs, films, etc. When you are reading, watching, or listening, and an author is repeating objects, characters, settings, etc., stop and think about what they might represent. These symbols can give us some insight into what the theme is. The theme is the author's message, and I call the theme the heart of the story. It's what they want you to know or learn from the story, song, or poem, or whatever it is that you're watching or listening to. In The Wizard of Oz, one major theme is that there is no place like home. The author uses the symbols to guide us to that conclusion. And that is a wrap. Be sure to tune back in for more Teach My Class episodes. You can also check out my First Chapter Friday on my channel, where I'll read the first chapters of my favorite middle school novels. I hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.